Hi everybody, welcome to Khong Driving. We are now at our usual favorite BH petrol station in Gombak, and we are starting on a new adventure this morning, and this adventure has something to do with this vehicle here. And guys, this is the Ativa Hybrid. So it's been given to us for a long-term test, and of course the first thing we're going to do is we're going to drive it on the highway and see how it behaves. So if you're ready, let's go. Alright guys, so this is a hybrid vehicle, but it's a hybrid with a difference. This is part of the 300 units that were brought into this country on a trial basis, and 300 customers are paying $500 a month for 5 years to drive this car. And at the end of the 5 years, they don't get to own the car. They have to return the car because it's part of a government-backed project to study the use of hybrid of this nature. Okay, so that's water under the bridge. Is still ongoing. And what we have done is we have been given a car for a long-term test for a couple of months. And so we're just sharing the experience of how this drives. Now, according to my research, this is a Daihatsu Rocky, and it's a hybrid version, and there's a different version for Indonesia, Japan, and in Malaysia. So the Malaysia gets the longest one. It's 4065 mm long, and it's also the tallest, 1605 mm tall. And in terms of the wheelbase, it's 2525, so it is identical in terms of dimension, I think, to the Ativa, or maybe it's slightly longer. I think the Ativa is 13995. Yeah, so this is a little bit longer, maybe because of the bumpers or whatever. But it has a electric motor, possibly 2 electric motors, because it also has a drive motor that does nothing but drive the car, and the engine does nothing but charge the battery. So it's a very simple system. The engine never drives the car, because the people at Perodua or Daihatsu said in order to get the power of an electric car, you cannot have the engine drive the car, because it acts as a brake when the motor takes over. So whenever there's drive, it is the motor that's driving. The engine does only one thing: charge the battery. So that's how it works. There are probably 2 motors, one motor to charge the battery and one motor to drive the car. So according to my research, we have a 3-cylinder engine that does that job, and I believe it's 1.2 liter, not the 1 liter. Yeah, so this is a 3/4 of a 1.6 liter engine from the Daihatsu / Toyota group. And I may be wrong though, but the torque of the motor, you get 170 Newton meters of torque, 106 horsepower. The engine itself only has 82 horsepower. So on paper, this vehicle actually is more powerful than the Ativa Turbo, which is a 1 liter, and it has 140 Newton meters of torque and something like that, yeah, about 105 horsepower. So I was given the car about a week ago, and I ran the gas that was filled with the car down, and I just pumped up 82 kilometers ago. It still looks full, and when I pumped it up, when I took the car, it had 20.6 kilometers per liter showing on the clock, but I have no record of the history. So when I pumped up the petrol, I zeroed it, and I ended up with something like 2 kilometers per liter when I first started out, and then it has slowly built up, and now we have 17.5 kilometers per liter. So we are observing it to see what it does on a longer term basis, but it seems to gain mileage as you drive, especially when you're driving at normal speeds under 100, because as the battery gets charged up, and once there is enough electricity in the battery, the engine shuts off and you run on EV. So that saves quite a bit of fuel, and it happens in the city and when you're driving at a constant speed. Of course, if you're pushing it along the highway at high speed, then you won't be saving much lah, because every ounce of power is put to work. So this car also comes with a full ADAS system with lane departure warning. I don't think there's any lane departure prevention, but and it's got ADAS, called collision mitigation and all that. And good news is this one has got ESC and traction control, and both can be switched off. Unlike the local model where at 55 kilometers per hour everything comes back on. So this one can be switched off. And overall weight for Malaysian model, according to the spec from Daihatsu Japan, it's about 1060 kilos. So it's about the same weight as a Vios, or maybe a little bit heavier. So on the road, it drives very much like a normal car, and you can hear the 3 cylinders, yes. So it sounds very much like the Ativa would sound, but somehow the acceleration power seems to be a bit better. Maybe it's got the extra torque. So these stock figures I got from the website, Japanese website that tells about this vehicle. So we were not given any data, or it wasn't a complete set of the data. So what I have is just what I took off the internet, so I may be wrong. But it drives very normal, and if you are the type of normal person like driving at this speed, we're actually going slightly above the speed limit, and we're just keeping up with the flow of traffic. So this feels very much like an ordinary compact SUV that you will get. And the good thing is we are averaging right now 17.3 kilometers per liter. That is the accumulated fuel consumption. That includes a lot of city running and all that over the past 3 days, I think, that we have used the car for 88 kilometers. So we're just running around PJ. In terms of stability, it's like the Ativa, and well, those of you who've driven the Ativa will know that it's actually quite stable on the road, yeah. Ground clearance is good visibility, no pedal shifts. There is a S pedal, which means a single pedal driving, and there's an eco mode with this. So on the Ativa you have a power mode. This one has got a eco mode, no power mode. There's only one mode that's normal, and one mode that is eco. And eco can only be run on S pedal. Yep. So we are now on D, and let's power it a bit. So this is the type of power, not very powerful, but it's enough for most people to drive at 110 kilometers per hour. Yeah. Here we go over the rumble strips, and I can see the cornering is not bad. Yeah, it's quite stable around the corners. The suspension is on the firm side of comfortable. Yes, this is a small vehicle, so therefore they need to cater for about at least 400 kilos of weight when it's fully laden. So therefore they have to spring it a little bit on the stiffer side to start off with. If they sprung it any softer, then when you load the car, it will kind of like sink down, and then it will start to have a lot of body roll. There's a mosquito in the car again. So far the drive has been quite good. Yeah. And we are about to reach the end of our drive. So this is the end of the first part of our drive, which is on the highway, and the Ativa Hybrid has performed very well. So thanks for being with us, and stay tuned for the next part of our video, which is going to be our hill climb.